Good morning, it's Sophie from ShutEye.co.uk here, and this is number 10, day 10 in my visibility challenge. I hope you're all well, and today I'm going to talk to you about napping and babies, and the question that I was asked quite a lot when I did a live Q&A session at a Bumps and Babies group last week, and that question was, how can I get my baby to nap for longer? And this was popping up as people came through and joined the group. Lots and lots of people are asking me similar questions, so I thought I would give you a video on it today. Now, this is a really tricky one, and I guess this is probably aimed at babies around about 6 months to a year, something like that, and those that are taking cat naps. Obviously, when babies are very little, the length of time of their naps can really vary between different children. Some of them like to take nice long 2-hour naps, some of them like to take cat naps, but more of them. So it can be tricky, but we need to work out why it's happening for us to be able to unravel it and help your child to sleep longer. So there's usually a few reasons why this is happening, and the first one to look at is how your child is how your baby is getting themselves to sleep. So are they able to fall asleep independently? So you can put them down in a cot or pram or wherever you're putting them and they fall asleep on their own. Are you feeding them to sleep? So whether that's breastfeeding or bottle feeding, or are you feeding them and then rocking them to sleep, something like that. If it is the sort of the latter part of the answers there, where you are getting your child to sleep by feeding, by rocking, whatever you're doing, that could be one of the main reasons why they're waking up after, say, 45 minutes or half an hour, because that's the sleep cycle, and they're waking up for you to, to do that again, to either rock them or feed them to get them back to sleep. Another reason is that they're overtired, and this could be just general overtiredness, or so something that's building up day after day. If they've been taking short naps for quite a while, then overtiredness is probably going to be one of the key things there, and that's because the body is sort of being pumped with cortisol, sort of a stress hormone, which is trying to keep their bodies awake and keeping them going despite the fact that they're feeling tired, and that can make it very difficult for a child to get to sleep and a child to stay asleep once they're going through these sleep cycles. So 45 minutes is a really popular time where babies tend to wake up when they're napping. Another thing is the environment as well. So what environment is your baby sleeping in? Are they in a sling, a pram, in the bedroom, in your bedroom? Is it nice and quiet? Is it dark? It can be a bit noisy. Obviously, if you're out and about walking through the park with a pram, it might be quite stimulating, especially for some children who are literally sort of staring around and looking around at everything. They find it very hard to shut the world out, and so they tend to be the children that we find do the cat naps and the short naps. And that sort of leads into another reason about why a child might nap only for a short amount of time, and that's to do with their personality. A lot of the families that come to me with help for sleep for their children, for their babies, are the ones that have, they describe their children as being very alert, very switched on, quite smart, difficult to feed, or when they're breastfeeding them, they're sort of arching their back, trying to see who else is in the room and what's going on, and things like that. They are the children that just find it hard to shut the world out, and they're just very stimulated by it. So that could be a big part to play in it as well. So what can you do to help your child or your baby to sleep longer, or to nap longer for say half an hour and 45 minutes? Well, if it is the main reason there, which is the lack of self-soothing skills, so they are relying on you or something to get them to sleep, then you need to wean them off of that ideally. Obviously, the other thing is with the overtiredness, it's sort of a catch-22 situation where, the better your child naps, the more rested they are, but obviously we can't get them to nap longer than 45 minutes. So, try and work as hard as you can on prioritising their sleep for a while and getting them the most rest that they can, rather than being out and about on the move. Have a few days at home to get them really rested. And obviously the sleep environment, make it as dark as possible, shut out any stimulation and any light. But moving back, to the lack of self-soothing skills, there's 3 sort of things that I can give you some advice on what you can try. There are obviously numerous things that you can try, but without knowing a specific situation for you and your child, these are some general things that I can give you some help with. So if your child is waking up after 45 minutes and you want to encourage them and help them to get back to sleep, then what you can do is go into them, in their bedroom, wherever they're sleeping, and try a gentle shush pat to get them back to sleep again. So it might be patting their bottom, stroking their head, something that you know that they like, a comforting move from you, to keep doing that and to shush them. And when I talk about shush, it's a long, slow shush, not a shush, shush, shush. It's a shh, shh, that type of noise that they want to hear from you, rather than anything that's too quick. So do that whilst they're, kind of waking up from their nap. Try to get them when they're still quite sleepy, and that will, ease them back into sleeping again for hopefully another sleep cycle. And you can continue to do that until they start to do that themselves and they start to put together 2 sleep cycles. So hopefully you might get them to sleep for an hour and a half or something like that, or a little bit longer would be ideal. The next step as well is just following on from the shush pat method, but for children, especially sort of the alert ones, we tend to find that they're very much by the clock, that as a parent, you will know that they're going to wake up bang on 30 minutes or bang on 35 or bang on 45, whatever it may be. So for those children, again, using the shush pat method, but if you can go into them and try and catch them before they fully wake up, so maybe they might just be stirring a tiny bit, and gently try that shush pat again. What we're trying to do is break the cycle of them waking up. And if we catch them just at the right time before they wake up, we might be able to gently get them through back into that next sleep cycle again. And you might think, oh God, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to wake them up, but I'm talking about, 5 minutes here. So if your child would normally sleep for 45 minutes, go in at 40 minutes and try and catch them then. If it doesn't work, not to matter. They've only lost out on 5 minutes sleep, because you know that they would have woken up in 5 minutes time anyway. Continue to do that over a number of days, until they start to slot those 2 sleep waves together. And the last one is really about giving your child space. And again, this kind of links back into the personality. What you feel is right for your child and right for you is about giving them some space. So rather than sort of rushing in and catching them like we were doing on option 2 to help them link the sleep cycles together, we just give them a bit of space, because it might well be that you're going in to help soothe them, to try and get them back to sleep, or you're just going in and picking them up, and taking them out of the cot and out of that sleep environment. So just give them a bit of space to see if they can get there by themselves and soothe themselves back to sleep, because that's the ultimate thing that you want to do, is to encourage them to be able to soothe themselves and not rely on you. The shush pat is a great method to sort of start there, and then moving on to more independent soothing further down the line. So I hope that's helped you. It's a big thing. I know napping can be really, really tricky and really frustrating, and something that we want to crack as parents, because we just want a little bit more downtime in the daytime and get some time for ourselves to have a little bit of a rest, or to do the chores and everything else that we have to do. But I'd love to hear from you if you try some of these methods and they work for you, or you've just got any questions. So obviously put the comments on the video below, and I hope that helps, and I'll see you again in the next video, which is going to be day 11. All right, cheers for now. Bye.